There's always someone in work that you connect with. There's always one person, and it's having that conversation. Maybe not revealing about yourself, but just having a general conversation about mental health. And when you see, in my experience, everyone always knows someone, and 9 times out of 10, that individual you're sharing with has experienced something themselves.
Don't be afraid to tell your manager. And even if you can't tell your own manager because of some personal dislike or you don't maybe trust them or you don't think they'd handle the situation well, speak to another senior manager. I think don't be afraid and get help. Don't be afraid to ask for help and believe that you can be helped, because workplaces can do things.
Once you start talking about it, it's the person who's living with mental illness will breathe a huge sigh of relief, because I know I do, not now, but back then it was like, it's a relief you can be open and honest about it and have a conversation about it.
I think it's important to have support outside of work, good friends, good family, or even a support group or a supportive GP. As long as there's someone there that's sort of fighting your corner and has got your back, I think it helps when someone's on your side.
Managers being close enough to their teams to recognise where something has changed, performance fall off, behavioural change, sudden unexpected lateness patterns, sickness patterns, whatever it is, then I think those things can be taught because they're basic management. And it could be anything. It might not be a stress-related illness. It could be a child or an elderly parent who's ill, or it could be a change of circumstances. Partner's got a job 50 miles away and all of a sudden they don't want to talk to you about it for some reason. And the thing is to get behind that first phase, get people talking if you can.
To be able to have someone to talk to if I was having one of the bad moments, and being able to know that I have somewhere to go if it's needed. Just to have a breather and then be able to get back. Not to be scared to say, right, no, this is not a good day. I need a breather.
So if you have a mental health condition, or experience constantly poor mental health, you need to be honest with yourself before you can tell anybody else. Next thing I would say, tell your closest, nearest and dearest, because a problem shared is a problem halved. And thirdly then it would be shared with your employer. So as soon as you share it with your employer, they have a legal obligation to put in reasonable adjustments to assist you, which will benefit you in managing your condition in the long term.
The basics of having good quality conversations and listening to people, asking open questions, genuinely listening to the responses, not thinking about what your next answer is going to be or what your next question is going to be, or trying to lead people to the answer that you wanted them to get to, they can be taught. I think the issue for me is that I think where managers need to be more open and honest on occasions is you might only deal with one of these cases once every several years. You might never have dealt with one before, in which case I think it's much better to say, do you know what, this is going to be really challenging for me because I, as a manager, have never dealt with this situation before, and I'm going to have to think about how we work this, and I'm going to have to look for some support and guidance myself about how we need to do this. But let's agree what the confidentiality piece around that is, so that you're not worried that I'm going to be talking about you behind your back.
Building confidence into your managers so that they feel that they can just say to somebody, are you okay? How are you feeling? You look distressed, just in a gentle way that's not threatening, and developing the culture where mental health issues can be spoken about and they're not scared to talk about them.